I just wanted to give a different point of view on what I think is going on with all the Kavanaugh, the Me Too, the serious arguing going on between Democrats and Republicans, and just the very divisive, sort of aggressive, angry vibe that's going on in recent months and in recent years. Here's kind of what's going on from my point of view. It's all basically meant to discredit, to weaken and to discredit. And the concept would be, within that discrediting, it's about also hypocrisy and contradictory behavior. I mean, meaning things like, let's say at the NFL level, you have white billionaire NFL owners basically colluding against the players, but then in turn you have the players taking money for sponsorship deals from sporting apparel companies that in turn are using low cost labor, women in Sri Lanka, women in India that are only making $1 or $2 or $3 a day, that are then making that sporting apparel. So you have all these degrees of, I'm claiming the higher moral ground, but can I really claim the high moral ground? But I don't want to admit it because I want to be right about something and I think I'm more right than you. So we'll put aside my hypocrisy for now because right now we're just focusing on this and whatever that little thing is. So, we'll deal with that hypocrisy later. Right now, I want to deal with your hypocrisy or someone else's hypocrisy. I mean, we all know that both the Democratic and Republican senators and congressmen have done all sorts of shady things. And so then they selectively cherry pick when they're going to take the higher moral ground. And I kind of have to laugh because there was a great interview of John McEnroe when he just basically said that Serena Williams would lose to most men, that a lot of men that aren't high ranked could beat Serena Williams. And they really wanted to pile on John McEnroe for saying that. And there's Charlie Rose, looking at John McEnroe like, hey, John, come on, really? How could you say such a thing like that? And then a couple months later or a year later, Charlie Rose is stepping down because of his allegations against Charlie Rose's inappropriate behavior came up. So these people are constantly taking this, I'm going to be self-righteous, and then their dirt comes out and they're out of there. What does this mean then? This is what I'm saying. It's discrediting everything. So look at now, we have, ever since Nixon, the office of the president, the executive, has been discredited. We had Reagan falling asleep in meetings. We had the younger Bush was basically a puppet or a yes man for Cheney and others. We had Obama, whether he was he born in the U.S., wasn't he born in the U.S., what's really going on with Obama. So all this to discredit that position. And in a way, it's good because the reality is the president is just an administrator, or they're the chief executive officer of the corporation or the company or the business that is the United States under Roman civil law and the District of Columbia and yada, yada, yada. Thank you, Seinfeld. Really, this discrediting is not necessarily a bad thing, because it's aligning the reality that these people are essentially puppets or hypocrites with what's coming out, the dirt that's coming out. But then the joke is anything really going to change? Or are people still going to fall back on, I'm winning, you're losing, ha ha ha, until it turns against them? We have the president has been discredited, and it's really peaking with Trump and all the absurd ways that Trump boasts and contradicts himself and just says weird things. Then we have now Kavanaugh and the judicial, which is actually justice, because there haven't really been true judges since 1789. They're administrators and they are justice. They are a high priest of the justice religion. Just look, the goddess Justitia, Maat, Dike. You got the goddess there in the New York Harbor, Statue of Liberty. We have the goddess Freedom up on top of the U.S. Capitol Dome. We have the goddess Justice right there in the courthouses, Libertas. All these various goddesses are blended together, but they all represented these different cultures, Greece, Rome, Egypt. Then we have the legislative body, Congress. It's been discredited. What is Congress's approval rating? What is it, 18%, 20%? Everybody is disgusted with Congress, and they have been for decades. And again, there's really no true senators anymore because there's no states. They're just federal districts. I believe there's 12 districts. So you have, rather than state districts, you have district states. So the states are really just part of a district, which means that you really don't have senators. They are essentially just Roman administrators within the quote Roman civil law Senate, with a little hint here or there of the Germanic English common law. But it's essentially equity, admiralty, legalism.